Welcome to The Bible Speaks with your host, Elgin Carlock. The Bible Speaks is a daily podcast dedicated to sharing the good news of Jesus Christ, rightly dividing the word of truth, and learning how to apply it to our daily lives. You may contact Elgin at the address given at the end of the broadcast. And now, here's Elgin.
Brothers and sisters, I welcome you in the name of our risen Savior, Jesus the Christ, to another episode of Words of Inspiration. And this is our third episode in our series, Is That What That Means? Today, we're diving into the story of Job, one of the Bible's most iconic figures, often described as the epitome of patience. But was Job truly as patient as we think? And why did God allow him to be tested so severely? Let's explore how Job's trial not only provided his faithfulness to God, but also taught him and those around him new depths of who God is. If you recall, the story of Job begins with God permitting Satan to test him. Why would a loving God allow such a suffering? Because God was confident in Job, and he was confident that Job wouldn't turn away even under severe testing. Job 1:8 shows God pointing Job out as blameless and upright. God also saw it as a teaching opportunity. Beyond Job's own faith, this was also a teaching situation for Job's wife and friends, who didn't share Job's deep understanding of God's nature. In short, God had bigger plans, not just to prove Job's faith, but also to reveal truth about himself to others who were watching Job's ordeal. We often talk about the patience of Job, but if you read the text carefully, Job voiced his anguish. He curses the day he was born in Job 3. He struggles with God's silence by questioning why this suffering is happening. And he rebukes his friends for their shallow theology and misguided accusations. This is important. Job wasn't passive or stoic. He was raw and real about his pain. His patience wasn't a quiet stoicism. It was a faithful perseverance. Even in confusion, he refused to stop trusting God's goodness. That level of honesty with God and with others can also be a powerful testimony, helping them see a relationship with God as something authentic, not staged. Job's wife advised him to curse God and die. Job's friends insisted he must have sinned to deserve all that he went through. Neither group truly understood God's character or how he operates. But through Job's trial, they witnessed a deeper revelation of God's sovereignty. They saw Job's unwavering devotion, even when he didn't get immediate answers. They learned that God is beyond simple formulas like bad things happen only if you're bad. Job's suffering wasn't just for his own faith building. It was for the sake of those around him. God used Job's testing to correct misunderstandings and draw others into a deeper awareness of who God is. Here's where it gets practical for us. We may have a close relationship with God, but God desires that we share that intimacy with others. Our hardship and how we handle them can be teaching moments for those who are struggling to see God clearly. Matthew 5:16 reminds us, "Let your light so shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." When we endure hardships with authentic faith, we help others move from misinformed or shallow beliefs to a mature understanding of God's love and sovereignty. So, was Job patient? In many ways, yes. But more importantly, he was faithful. And his story shows us that God has confidence in you to stand firm. Your suffering might be a lesson for people in your circle who don't fully know who God is. Genuine faith doesn't hide pain. It endures it, trusting God even in confusion. And our close relationship with God isn't meant to remain private. It's for us to share so others can grow in their understanding of Him. Finally, realize that Job's story ends in restoration, not because Job suddenly figured God out, but because God's ultimate sovereignty and compassion triumphed over the enemy's agenda. In our own lives, we can trust that God has redemptive purposes behind every trial we endure. I thank you for spending time with me on today, and I look forward to our conversation on tomorrow. Until then, God bless.
The Bible Speaks is sponsored by C Squared Realty and New Gen Construction Group to help spread the gospel to the corners of the earth. If anything you've heard poured into your life, please share it with someone. You can find The Bible Speaks on Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer, and many more. Follow us on YouTube at The Bible Speaks Online. You may contact Elgin at P.O. Box 5582, Ocala, Florida 34478, or by email at thebiblespeaksonline@gmail.com.